What would you do if one day you discovered that the father you've known your whole life isn't really your dad? For me, it meant diving into a world of secrets, betrayal, and a chance at a new beginning with someone I never knew existed. Hey everyone, my name is Alex. I'm 13 years old, and I live in a small town where everyone knows each other. It's a pretty quiet place, but my life has been anything but quiet lately. I've been through a lot this past year, and I want to share my story with you. It's about learning who I really am, discovering new family, and finding my place in the world. So, grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's dive into my journey together. I sat on my bed, staring at the wall. My heart felt heavy. Today was supposed to be normal, but then Mom dropped the bomb. "Alex, we need to talk," she said. I looked up. "About what?" "About the baby," she said. Her eyes were bright, but I didn't feel like celebrating. I swallowed hard. "What baby?" "The new baby. It's arriving soon, and we need your room." I felt my stomach twist. "Wait, what?" Mom smiled, but it felt wrong. "We'll move you to the guest room. It'll be fun." Fun? A new baby meant I was losing something. I could feel the anger boiling inside me. "But this is my room." She frowned, her smile fading. "We're a family, Alex. Families share." "Share? You mean you want me to give up my stuff?" I almost shouted. "It's just a room," she replied quietly. "Just a room," I echoed. "It's everything to me." I wanted to argue more, to tell her how unfair it was. But I stayed quiet. Would it make a difference? I didn't know. "Fine," I muttered, looking away. "Thank you for understanding," she said. I didn't understand. I felt betrayed. Anger and sadness swirled inside me. Why was everyone so excited about the new baby? What about me? Later that night, I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Couldn't sleep. I rolled around, the anger still bubbling. I needed to distract myself. I swung my legs over the side of the bed and stood up. Just then, I noticed the dust bunnies under my bed. I knelt down, peeking into the dark. Something caught my eye. "What's this?" I whispered to myself, reaching under the bed. My fingers bumped into something hard. I pulled it out, old letters tied together with a string. I held them in my hands, feeling strange. Who were they from? Carefully, I untied the string. My eyes widened as I read the first letter. "Dear Laura," it began. I recognized the name. That was my mom's name. I felt a rush of curiosity. I read on. "I miss you every day. I don't understand why we drifted apart." My heart raced. Who wrote this? I wondered. I flipped through the letters, each one filled with longing. The words opened a door to a part of my mom I didn't know. I whispered, "Mom had a boyfriend?" The letters were written by someone named Mike. He sounded sad, lonely. "I still love you," one letter said. "Does she think about him?" I asked myself. Before I could read more, I heard footsteps. I quickly shoved the letters back under the bed. "Alex, are you okay?" Mom's voice came from the hallway. "Yeah, I'm fine," I replied, but my voice didn't sound sure. When she came in, I glued my eyes to the floor. "Aren't you sleepy?" she asked, sitting on the edge of my bed. I shrugged. "Not really. I know you're upset about the room," she said softly. I took a deep breath. "It's not fair. I understand." But did she? I wanted to scream but held it in. I just nodded. "Let's work through this together, okay?" she said, her voice calm. "Okay," I murmured, but I couldn't shake the feeling. I was losing my room, my space, and maybe even part of my mom. As she turned to leave, I tucked the letters away in my mind, wondering if I'd ever find the courage to ask her about them. The next morning, I couldn't shake off the letters from my mind. Who was Mike, and why did he write to my mom? My heart raced with curiosity. A small voice in my head whispered, "You have to find out." After breakfast, while Mom was busy, I grabbed my phone. My hands shook as I typed in the name and his address mentioned in the letters. "Here goes nothing," I whispered. I hit send on a simple message. "Hi, are you Mike? I found some old letters. felt crazy. Moments stretched into what felt like hours. I paced in my room, heart pounding. Then the message I feared and hoped for came through. "Yes, I'm Mike. Who is this?" I typed back nervously, "I'm Alex, Laura's son." My heart thudded as I waited for a response. Would he be nice? Angry? Suddenly, my phone buzzed again. "Alex? As in Alex, my son?" "What?" My head spun. "Son?" My fingers froze on the screen. I felt my heart drop. Was he serious? I typed back slowly, "What do you mean?" "Laura and I had a relationship before she met your dad. I never got to meet you." "I want to," he replied. The words hit me like a punch. "This can't be true," I gasped. My mind raced. I felt like I was drowning. "Breathe, just breathe," I told myself. I typed back, "You're saying you're my real dad?" The reply was quick. "Yes, Alex. I've wanted to find you for so long." Rage bubbled in my chest. "Why didn't you? Why didn't Mom tell me?" I yelled, but inside my thoughts were swirling. Betrayal mixed with confusion. "I didn't know about you until last year," he wrote. "I tried contacting Laura, but she didn't respond. Did Mom even care?" I asked myself, feeling tears well up. Mike sent a voice message next. I pressed play. "Alex, I'm sorry for everything. I never wanted to leave. I can't change the past, but I want to be a part of your life." His voice sounded genuine, but I was trapped in a storm of emotions. My hands trembled as I replied, "I need time to think." I tossed my phone onto the bed. "What is happening?" I shouted into my empty room. "Hey, Alex, everything okay?" Mom's voice came from the doorway, interrupting my chaos. I rolled over, hiding my face. "Yeah, why?" She walked into my room. "You seemed upset," she said, concern in her eyes. "Just tired." Couldn't tell her. I was still in shock. Mom sighed. "You know you can talk to me, right?" I nodded, but my mind was racing. How could I explain? Just then, my phone buzzed again. I glanced at it. "Please, let me know when you're ready," Mike's message said. Why does he want to be part of my life? I whispered to myself. Mom leaned closer. "Who are you texting?" I felt the heat rise in my cheeks. "Just a friend." I lied. Her eyes narrowed, but she didn't push. "If you need anything, I'll be downstairs." The door closed behind her, and I was left alone again. Was Mike really my dad? Couldn't believe it. Angry thoughts swirled in my head. How could he not know about me? Why was everything so complicated? I picked up the letters again, letting the words sink in. My mom had kept this secret. But why? My heart felt heavy with confusion, and I wondered if I'd ever find the answers I needed. Would I have to confront Mom? Was Mike part of my future now? Just then, I felt a mix of anger and sadness. How could I deal with all of this? My head spun with unanswered questions, and I didn't know where to turn. I could hardly breathe as I paced my room. The letters, the messages, everything was spinning in my mind like a roller coaster. I had to confront Mom. I stormed downstairs, heart racing. Mom was in the kitchen, humming softly to herself. I stopped in the doorway, fists clenched. "Mom, we need to talk. Now." She turned, eyes wide. "Alex, what's wrong?" "Stop pretending everything is fine," I shouted. "Is it true? Is Mike my real dad?" Her face fell. "Alex, please. Let's sit down first." "No. I want the truth." Mom looked hurt. "Okay, I'll tell you everything. But you need to listen." I crossed my arms, feeling the anger boil inside. "Why didn't you tell me?" She sighed heavily, the weight of her thoughts hanging in the air. "I wanted to protect you. Mike wasn't part of our lives. I didn't want complications." "Complications?" I said, my voice rising. "You call this a complication?" "I was young. Things were complicated. I fell for your dad after Mike," she explained softly. "We thought it was best to move on." "I don't understand," I shouted, my feelings swirling. "You lied to me." Tears brimmed in her eyes. "I made choices, Alex. Heartbreaking choices. I thought it was better for you not to know. Better for who? Questioned, shaking my head. Me or you? Both of us, she cried. I thought keeping you safe was all that mattered. Safe? Didn't she see I felt lost? Safe? You think I feel safe now? Mom stepped closer, her voice trembling. I never wanted to hurt you. I've loved you every day. I don't know how to believe you, I said, stepping back. Try, she pleaded. Please try. I felt tears well up. This is all too much, I shouted, turning my back. Alex, please, she called after me. But I was already up the stairs, shutting my bedroom door. I leaned against it, breathing heavily. Was I supposed to forgive her? Taking a deep breath, I picked up my phone. I had to talk to Mike. I couldn't ignore this anymore. I texted him, "Can we meet in person?" His reply came quickly, "Absolutely. When and where?" "Tomorrow at the park?" I wrote back, my hands shaking. "Sounds perfect. I'll be there." I tossed my phone aside, trying to process everything. Meeting him would mean facing the truth. What would I say? Would I feel happy or angry? Suddenly, guilt washed over me. Was I betraying Mom by wanting to meet this man? I squeezed my eyes shut. "Why did you never tell me?" I whispered. Then I thought about Mike's letters, how he cared, how he wanted a chance to know me. I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal, but the curiosity was too strong. Just then, I heard a knock on my door. "Alex!" Mom's voice broke through. "Go away," I said, trying to hold back my tears. "I'm sorry. I really am," she said softly. "Can we talk?" "No," I shouted. "I don't want to talk to you right now." "Okay. Just know I'm here when you're ready," she replied, her voice heavy. I leaned back against the door, a mix of sadness and anger swirling inside me. Tomorrow I would meet Mike. But what if he was a stranger? What if everything fell apart? With the weight on my heart, I lay down, staring at the ceiling. How could I face either of them? I was lost between the past and the future, and I didn't know how to find my way. The next day felt like a dream. I barely slept, my mind racing about meeting Mike. I arrived at the park, my heart thumping. Would he really be there? Would I see a stranger or someone who looked like me? As I walked along the path, I spotted a man sitting on a bench. He was looking around, and when our eyes met, I felt a wave of recognition wash over me. "Alex?" he called, standing up. "Yeah," I replied, my voice shaky. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "I'm Mike. It's good to finally meet you." "Hi." I didn't know what to say next. "I brought something," he said, reaching into his bag. "What is it?" He pulled out a folded piece of paper. "It's a paternity test. It proves I'm your father." I took the paper, hands trembling. "You really don't have to. Please, just read it." I opened it and scanned the words. "This confirms you. You are my dad?" I stuttered. "Exactly," he said, his voice steady. Shock hit me like ice water. "I can't believe it," I whispered. "I didn't want to overwhelm you," he said. "But I've wanted you in my life since I found out." I stared at the test, my emotions flooding back. Part of me was angry with Mom for hiding this, but another part felt a warmth spreading in my chest. "Why didn't you try to find me sooner?" I asked, looking up. "I tried. Your mom wouldn't talk to me. I didn't know how to reach you," he admitted, his eyes sad. I inhaled deeply. "So all the letters, you really meant what you wrote?" "Every word," he said, his voice filled with hope. "I missed you. I wanted to be a dad." A lump formed in my throat. It felt strange to have a longing fulfilled, but also terrifying. "What if I don't know you?" "That's okay," he replied with a gentle smile. "We'll get to know each other. We can take our time." I nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and fear. "Can we start now?" "Yes, let's," he said with warmth. "What do you like to do?" I struggled to think. "I like basketball." "Really?" "I love basketball. I played in college," he said, lighting up. "Wait, really?" I asked, my interest piqued. "Yeah, I could teach you some moves, he promised, his eyes sparkling. My heart fluttered. I could imagine practicing with him, learning something new. That would be cool, I said. Hey, we can go shoot some hoops anytime. Just say the word, he urged. Smiling through my confusion, I felt a sense of belonging begin to stir inside me. I'd like that. We talked and laughed for what felt like hours, slowly breaking down the walls I had built around my heart. I didn't know what the future held, but for the first time, I felt part of something bigger. I need to go home, I said eventually. I have to talk to my mom. Of course, he said, his face turning serious. Just remember, I'm here if you need me. Thanks, Mike. Really? I said, feeling grateful. As I walked back through the park, my mind raced with thoughts. I had a dad. I had someone who wanted to know me. But how would Mom react? Would she understand? I felt nervous realizing I held the truth in my hands. I needed to be strong. I was ready to face Mom. I would tell her everything. I would make her understand that family could change but didn't have to break apart. With newfound determination, I stepped onto the pavement, my heart pounding, ready to take action. When I walked through the front door, my head was spinning with everything I had learned. I felt strong and ready to share my news. But before I could say anything, I saw my stepdad, Dave, sitting on the couch, his eyes narrowed at me. "Where have you been?" he asked, his voice clipped. "I was out," I replied, trying to keep my cool. "Out where?" he pressed. "Just at the park," I said, my patience wearing thin. "Doing what?" he shot back. I started. But then I remembered the truth. I met my real dad. His face turned red. "What do you mean, your real dad?" I took a deep breath. "I mean Mike. He's my biological father." Dave stood up, his fists clenched. "What kind of joke is this?" "It's not a joke," I shouted back. "You don't understand." "I don't understand?" he sneered. "I'm the one who raised you. I'm your dad." "I know. But that doesn't change anything," I yelled, anger spilling over. "He's my dad too." Mom heard the commotion and rushed in. "What's going on here?" "Ask your son," Dave snapped, pointing at me. "He thinks he can just waltz in here and bring some stranger into our lives." "Stop it," I shouted, feeling tears prick at the corners of my eyes. "I'm not bringing anyone in. I just found out the truth." Mom's eyes widened. "Alex, is this true?" I nodded. "I met Mike. He showed me the paternity test. He wants to be part of my life." "You should have kept this to yourself," Dave said, his tone hard. "This is ridiculous. You're just a kid who deserves to know who I am." I cried. "You don't get to decide that. I want to know him." "Alex, listen," Mom began, but Dave cut her off. "This is nonsense," he yelled. "You're mine. I'm the one who raised you. He's just a guy with some letters." I felt heat rise in my cheeks. "You think it's that simple? You don't get it." Dave stepped closer. "You're not going anywhere with him. You will forget about this. Understand?" I froze. "Forget?" I echoed, disbelief washing over me. "I can't forget where I come from. This isn't right." Dave shot back, his voice rising. "Do you even care what this does to your family?" I felt the weight of his words crashing over me. "You mean your family? What about me?" Mom stepped between us. "Enough. This needs to calm down." Her face was pale. "Alex, I know this is all new, but let's talk about it." "What's there to talk about?" I said, voice trembling. "Dave doesn't want me to even know my own father." "I'm not ready to lose you, Alex," he fired back, panic in his tone. "This is going to ruin everything. Maybe you should have thought about that before." I shot back, frustration boiling in me. "I raised you. I am your dad," Dave yelled, but I felt a wall building between us. "I don't care," I said, tears welling up. "I want to know Mike. I deserve to know both of my parents." Tension filled the room as silence fell. I felt suffocated, unsupported. "Alex, please," Mom said softly, her voice breaking. "No," I yelled, feeling anger take over. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to take legal action. What? Mom gasped. I have to make sure I can know my dad without you guys fighting me, I cried, shaking. Alex, don't be rash, Dave shouted, fear creeping in. But my mind was made up. I was done feeling trapped. I had a right to my own life. I turned and stormed to my room, my heart racing. Legal action? Could I really do that? But I felt solid in my resolve. I wouldn't let anyone take away my chance to know who I truly belonged to. I sat on my bed, breathing deep, preparing for what came next. I had to stand up for what was right. A few weeks passed after my big confrontation with Mom and Dave. I took a deep breath as I sat at my desk, my heart pounding. Today was the day I would file for adoption. Adult adoption by Mike. I felt a mix of fear and hope swelling inside me. Would this even work? How would Mom and Dave react? I reached for my phone and dialed Mike's number. Hey, it's me, I said when he answered. Alex, how's it going? He replied, his voice warm. I'm about to file for the adoption papers. I'm really doing this, I said, courage fighting through the nerves. That's amazing, he said, excitement crackling in his voice. I'll help however I can. What about back child support? I asked, hesitating. Is that too much? No, it's your right. We can figure it out together, he assured me. Thanks, Mike, I said, a wave of relief washing over me. I'll see you soon. After hanging up, I walked toward my parents. They were sitting at the kitchen table, discussing something quietly. My heart raced as I approached them. Mom, Dave, I need to talk, I said firmly. They looked up, tension flickering in the air. What is it? Dave asked, his tone cautious. I'm filing for adult adoption by Mike, I announced, determined. What? Mom gasped, her face pale. Are you serious? Dave exclaimed, pushing back his chair. You can't just do that. Yes, I can, I replied, standing my ground. He's my real dad, and I want to be a part of his life. Mom looked hurt, her eyes glistening. But Alex, we're your family. You can't just throw that away. I'm not throwing anything away. I deserve to know my real father, I said, frustration bubbling. I think I deserve more than just being pushed aside. Alex, we love you. This isn't going to make things better, Dave said, shaking his head. Maybe you should have thought of that before. I shot back, my voice rising. Mom stood up, her hands shaking. You don't know what you're doing. This could change everything. Maybe that's the point, I retorted. I was shaking with anger. I'm tired of living like I don't belong. I want to know where I came from. Dave glared at me, his voice cold. What about us? You'll lose more than just a bedroom. You'll lose your family. Maybe I'd finally gain a real one. I yelled, pain spilling out. Tears filled Mom's eyes. Please don't do this, she pleaded. I have to, I screamed back, feeling my heart pound. You can't keep me in a bubble. I won't let you. Alex, listen, Dave said, trying to soften his tone. You're making a huge mistake. But the words fell flat. I felt like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders. No, I'm finally taking control of my life. As I turned to leave, Mom whispered, We're not going to let you walk away from everything. Their voices followed me up the stairs, but I didn't look back. Couldn't. Alone in my room, I let the tears flow. I felt torn between two worlds. I was scared. What if it didn't work? What if I lost Mom and Dave forever? But with each thought, I felt the fire in my gut burn brighter. I remembered Mike's encouraging voice and the swarm of hope that filled me when I was with him. Flipping open my laptop, I began filling out the adoption forms with shaking fingers. My heart raced with every keystroke. I was taking a step forward, even if it was scary. In that moment, I knew one thing for sure. I was ready to fight for my truth. No matter what, I would see this through. I was not just Alex anymore. I was someone with a rightful place in this world, and I was going to claim it. The day of the court hearing had arrived. I sat in the stuffy courtroom, my heart pounding like a drum. Today was the day everything would change. I had butterflies in my stomach as I glanced over at Mike. He sat beside me, his presence calming yet powerful. "You ready, buddy?" he asked, giving me a reassuring smile. "I think so," I replied, trying to sound brave. But inside, I was a whirlwind of emotions. Anxiety, fear, and hope swirling together. The judge entered the room, and everyone stood up. I took a deep breath as the proceedings began. I felt a lump in my throat as I listened to the past year being recounted. The letters, the discovery, the battles. "Do you understand what this adoption means?" the judge asked me, looking directly at me. "Yes, Your Honor," I said, my voice steady. "It means I will have a dad legally, and I want that." "That's good to hear," the judge said, nodding. "And do you want to continue your relationship with your biological father, Mike?" I glanced at Mike, who was watching me intently. "Yes, I do," I said with more confidence this time. "He's my dad." The judge turned to Mike. "Is that your wish as well?" Mike nodded earnestly. "Absolutely, Your Honor. I've wanted to be part of Alex's life for a long time." The judge scribbled some notes, and time felt like it was stretching. My heart raced as they debated child support. I just wanted this to be over. Would I really become his son today? After reviewing the evidence and considering Alex's wishes, the judge said, adjusting her glasses, "I find in favor of this adoption." The words hit me like a wave of relief. I blinked rapidly, hardly believing it. "Mike, you are now legally recognized as Alex's father." I gasped, tears brimming in my eyes. "Thank you," I blurted out, turning to Mike. He smiled widely, and I felt his pride. "We did it, Alex," he said, pulling me into a quick hug. The judge then ruled on the child support. It felt surreal to hear that resolve too. I was shaking with emotion. The past year had been a storm of chaos, but now it felt like the sun was finally breaking through the clouds. As we left the courtroom, I felt a wave of happiness wash over me. But then, a sense of sadness started creeping in. I looked at Mike as we stepped outside. "I really wanted to tell Mom. I hope she understands." Mike looked serious. "It'll be hard for her, Alex, but this is about your future." "Yeah," I said, my voice trailing off. I felt like I was losing the family I had always known. "I just wish it could have been different." "I know," he sighed, placing a hand on my shoulder. "But this is a new beginning for both of us." I couldn't shake the image of Mom's face the last time I saw her, hurt and confused. I missed her, even though things had been tough. "Do you think she'll ever try to talk to me again?" I asked Mike, hopeful yet scared. "She might," he replied gently. "But you have to take care of yourself first. This is your chance to build a new life." His words resonated with me. I looked up at the sky, feeling the warmth of the sun on my face. "I want to make this work. I want to build a relationship with you." He smiled down at me. "We're gonna make great memories, Alex. Just give it time." I felt a flicker of hope inside me. Maybe things would be okay. It wouldn't be easy, but it was a start. I had a father now in Mike who cared, and I was ready to embrace this new life with open arms. As we drove away, I glanced back at the courthouse, a bittersweet feeling settling in. I thought of all the memories I would carry with me, some painful, some hopeful. But today, I was a step closer to building the future I wanted. Mike was my dad now, and no matter what hurdles lay ahead, I knew I wouldn't face them alone. If you found out a life-changing secret about your family, how would you handle it? Would you confront the truth or keep it hidden? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm excited to hear your stories and experiences. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more of my journey.